All right, good morning, class.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sound a little tired. Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Very good. Very enthusiastic hello. Evan and I are going to be giving you a short lesson about correcting someone in a conversation. So today we're going to be working on your speaking skills, your conversation skills. So it's important to have these kinds of skills because when you're talking to someone, naturally they are going to make mistakes. They may say something that's not accurate. And it's important to be able to not only get accurate information from that person, but to also have a polite way of moving the conversation along after you interrupt them. So Evan and I are going to first demonstrate a few ways that you can politely correct someone. And we want you to pay attention to see if you hear us using any words that become familiar. So we'll give you 4 examples.
Hey, the Portugal versus Japan game starts at 12:30, right?
Actually, it's not until tomorrow.
The USA-Germany match was 1-0 US, right?
Are you sure? I think it was 1-0 Germany. Third example. The restaurant is on 4th and Hermosa Street, right?
Sorry, don't you mean 4th and Cherry?
And last example, the election is on November 4th, right?
Actually, I think you mean November 6th.
Okay, great. So, did anyone happen to notice any words that kept sounding familiar that we kept using by chance? Adrian?
Actually?
Great. We already had it here, so there's no reason not to. But in both formal and informal cases of correcting someone in a conversation, you can say actually, but it's what comes afterwards that makes a bit of more difference in a formal situation. So I'll talk about the formal example. So there are a few things you can say to correct someone formally. You're usually talking to a stranger or you are in a formal situation. So if you ask a stranger for directions, you wouldn't want to approach them and just say, hey, can you tell me where the hospital is? It would be better to say, excuse me, but could you tell me where the hospital is? Or if you're in a formal situation, like we're in class together right now, so that's a formal situation. And let's say someone says the wrong answer, responds the wrong way to a question. It'd be better to say, sorry, don't you mean the answer is orange? Instead of just saying, no, the answer is orange. Because it's, to be formal in a situation like this gives respect to the person that you're correcting. You don't want to come off as impolite. And you, again, let the class move continuously without interrupting too severely. So actually, Evan will talk to you about the informal ways of correcting someone.
So here's a few examples of an informal way of correcting someone. And I think I'd like us to maybe say it together. So hypothetically, let's say the correction is, the dance is on Thursday. I'd say, actually, the dance is on Thursday.
Actually, the dance is on Thursday.
Are you sure? The dance is on Thursday, I think.
Are you sure? The dance is on Thursday, I think.
But the dance is on Thursday, isn't it?
But the dance is on Thursday, isn't it?
And last but not least, don't you mean the dance is on Thursday?
Don't you mean the dance is on Thursday?
So you remember, this is a good way of maybe talking to someone that you're familiar with, a friend, maybe not the President of the United States, classmates and such. So Andre, if you want to go through the first activity.
Sure. So we are going to have you practice a few examples with me. So what we're going to do is I'll have you, for the next 5 examples on the front of the page, I'll call on you to read the first phrase, and I'll respond with the correction. I want you to pay attention to the pitch of my voice in these examples too, because it's a pretty important detail. It's a very important detail actually when you're having a conversation with someone and you need to indicate that you have information that they don't, or that you have a question. So I'll have Ariel, if you would read the first example, CSULB.
CSULB has about 25,000 students.
Actually, I think you mean 35,000. Okay. Number 2, Bruno, could I have you read number 2, please?
CSUN is the largest campus in the K-State system.
Are you sure? Isn't CSU Long Beach the largest? Let's get Josephine. If you could read number 3, please.
The Nugget closes at 3 p.m.
Don't you mean 4? I'm going to repeat that one actually, because I want to point out that I want to make sure that you are following the idea of pitch and how it makes a difference. So I'm going to repeat my answer to number 3. I'm going to say it twice. I'm going to say it flat the first time, and then I'm going to say it pitched the second time. So pay close attention. Don't you mean 4? Don't you mean 4? So again, if we're having a conversation with someone and they give us information like what we have in number 3 here, if they say something that we know isn't exactly accurate, it's important to also use our structures here, our given phrases, and correct them with ensuring that the pitch in your voice is indicating you're asking a question. So for this example, number 3, a better way to respond would be, actually, I think you mean 4, not don't you mean 4. Let's get to number 5. Could I have Patrick read number 5, please?
Excuse me, isn't the gym near the student union?
Sorry, don't you mean the track? So again, using our structure and posing the correction as a question. So being sure to raise the pitch at the end of your statement to indicate that you're asking a question and that you're correcting that person.
Okay, let's go to practice number 3. And for this next exercise, there's a list of incorrect statements that are written. So what I'm going to do is put you guys into pairs, maybe just the people that you're sitting next to, and I'll have one partner say the incorrect statement. The next partner can correct them, hopefully using either our informal or formal ways of correcting. And I'll leave that up to you, but try to use both. I'll start with the first example with Andre real quick.
I'm planning to visit San Diego to see the Marine Land.
Sorry, don't you mean you're planning to visit San Diego to see the ocean?
It's a better word.
So let's start with Bruno and Nancy. Number 2 and 3.
Should I take it?
Yeah, why don't you start reading number 2, Bruno, and I'll have Nancy correct, and then vice versa.
My instructor wears bright colors like gray and black.
Actually, don't you mean the instructor wears dark colors?
Very good. Okay, so that was a more formal way of doing that. Next.
The conversation lab is my favorite class.
But didn't you say art was your favorite class?
Very good. Okay, Joel and Ariel.
My
Oh, go ahead.
girlfriend doesn't watch TV.
he only reads books?
Don't you mean she only reads books?
Good.
I just saw the Dean F. King Alexander walking near the library today.
Don't you mean I just saw the president?
Excellent. Okay. Josephine, Adrian? Maybe number 6 and 7?
I like winter sports a lot, especially beach volleyball.
Are you sure? Don't you mean summer sports?
Good. It's a good informal way of correcting. Adrian, the next one?
The SPA building is on upper campus.
Are you sure? Don't you mean the SPA building is off campus?
Excellent. And last but not least, Dennis and Patrick.
Hey, let's rent a car. They're only $10 a day.
Are you sure? Don't you mean $20?
Okay.
I watched the Korea versus Iran football match at the student union.
Sorry, I think you mean the Greece versus Iran.
Excellent. Okay. All good. All correct. Andre, do you want to do number 4?
Actually, I want to step back to our first practice exercise. I think it'd be a good idea if we worked in pairs and had everyone practice the same phrases that we've already discussed with the person sitting next to you. So we want to hear you practicing these phrases, and we want to pay attention to the practice of pitch, making sure that you're intonating, that you're asking the question properly to indicate to the person that you're speaking to. So Evan and I will make rounds shortly while you work in pairs to go through these examples. Please read them out loud. Don't worry about us. We'll be around. We'll be here.
CSULB.
Actually, I think you mean 35,000.
I think
CSU,
CSUN is the largest campus in the Cal State system.
Are you sure? Isn't CSULB the largest?
Pitch.
The Nugget closes at 3 o'clock p.m.
Don't you mean 4?
Did you fill out the email?
Let's try number 4.
But blue is probably isn't it?
Did you fill out?
Did you fill out the pink?
Excuse me, isn't the
Yellow
J
is
the
a
student union?
Sorry, don't you mean the office?
Say that again.
I like.
Sorry, don't you mean the office?
Not beach tennis, beach volleyball. So we're going to move on to the last activity. We'll wrap things up today, practicing together as a class. And we're going to work on a short activity just on the board. I am going to write a sentence, and I'll have the answer next to the sentence, and I'd like a volunteer to offer a correction to the example. So, to be easy. in this example, since I already have the answer here, could I have someone volunteer to correct this information, to correct this sentence? Ariel, had your hand up first.
Are you sure? Don't you mean a coffee shop?
Okay. Does anyone want to did anyone think of a way to correct that in a different way? Dennis?
Actually, the library at CSU has a coffee shop.
Perfect. Both are very great examples. Let's try one more, and then we'll be done for the day. Let's see. So this will be a really easy, obvious answer. And it should be easy to correct it. Can everyone read that? Is my handwriting neat? Okay. Do I have a volunteer? Or would Joel like to answer?
Los Angeles is part of Orange County. I think, don't you mean Los Angeles is part of LA County?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. So, a few tips like these are, again, good means of correcting someone politely, and I think Evan will wrap everything up.
Yeah, I mean, you basically said it. Just remember that whenever you're talking to someone, anyone who's making a mistake, having these tools is a good way to correct them, but still sound polite. So, excuse me, but I think class is over.